I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What does this mean to you? Hello, my name is Kaylin Jeffrey, and I'm here to explain to you why we should say the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't only say the Pledge of Allegiance to symbolize freedom and peace, but we also say it to show patriotism and to honor our flag. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance shows that we are unified and we have peace. We should be proud of what our nation has become, and we need to respect others and say the Pledge of Allegiance because we care for each other and stay together. We are unified, and it's our responsibility to respect others. We don't only say the Pledge of Allegiance for our government, we say it for everybody because our entire nation is free. Our nation stands together and helps each other grow. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance shows respect, shows we stand together, and shows we care for each other. It doesn't matter if you're from here or not. Our veterans deserve more appreciation. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance shows we care for them. According to www.military.com, there are more than 1.4 million people in the armed forces, more than 1 million police officers, and more than 1 million firefighters. Veterans are brave, and so are police officers and firefighters. They deserve respect because they take the risk of losing their lives, and we need to honor them because they are selfless, protect us, and defend us. Are you proud of what our nation has become? Because I know I am. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance shows we won't turn our backs on what our nation has become. We should be proud of our veterans and the land they fought for, our government, how much they've protected us and supported us, and our loyal citizens that help us have a smile on our face every single day. I'm proud of what our nation has accomplished. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance shows patriotism and shows that we are unified. Ever since 1892, the Pledge of Allegiance has had an important role in society. That's 127 years. I have pride in what our nation has become. Thank you for listening to my patriotic speech. Have a nice rest of your day.
What comes to your mind when you think of a patriot? Someone who helped make America, or maybe someone who helped form our country, or maybe both? Good morning, judges, parents, and fellow contestants. My name is Hayden Tours, and I'm here to tell you what defines a patriot. The definition of a patriot is someone who vigorously supports their country and is willing to defend it against enemies or foes. So it's not that they're the chosen ones, it's the virtues and actions that make up a true patriot. Bravery, determination, and loyalty are all virtues you will see in a patriot. Bravery is a great quality because of what it is to be brave, taking a chance. When I found I had crossed the line, there was such a glory over everything, and I felt like I was in heaven, said Harriet Tubman. She didn't mean there was a literal change in anything. She meant from her perspective, everything changed. Why? She was treated so unjust that she had traveled the country, knowing if caught her life was over, just to have the same rights as a white child. In other words, she's one of the main reasons mixed colors have the rights they do today, all because she took a chance, a huge chance. Harriet Tubman's bravery is not the only sign of true patriotism that made who we are today. If you want something badly and are willing to go beyond reasonable expectations to get it, then you have determination. This is a great virtue needed in a true patriot. Martin Luther King Jr. not just had determination, he defined determination. Ever since he was a little boy, he didn't understand why he couldn't go certain places or why he couldn't play with some of his friends. So what did he do? He turned his and many other people's lives around with peaceful protests and great speeches. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation that will not be judged on the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He was determined he could change the rights for black people. To tie into that, determination has been very helpful in personal experiences, like with my grades, playing sports, and in life. So all in all, having determination is something you will most definitely see in a patriot. One last virtue needed in a patriot is loyalty. Without loyalty in America, it would be utter chaos. It's what holds us together. To begin with, what do I mean when I say it holds us together? I mean without it, without support, without belief, there is no country, no America that we are today. George Washington is a great example of loyalty who helped shape America. He sacrificed his and many others' lives just so other people in the country could be free and independent. You don't have to be commander-in-chief of a war to be loyal, though. All you have to do is just something simple. like just being a friend. I guarantee that in a time in your life you'll be loyal, if not more than once, because it really doesn't take all that much. As a result, it is the loyalty of just citizens of America that have formed who we are as a country today. All in all, the virtues and actions of a patriot are loyalty, determination, and bravery. Instead of the dictionary definition of a patriot, I think it should be someone who is loyal, determined, and brave. Just think about this. Do you want to be part of America today or in the future? It all depends on the characteristics and actions of you and your fellow Americans that will decide what the USA will be in the future. It all depends on the virtues and actions you have that decide if you're a true patriot.
Is the Pledge of Allegiance important to you? Does it mean something to you to honor our country daily with a simple act? Good morning. My name is Artemis Burha, and for the next few minutes, I will be presenting to you all the origin of the Pledge of Allegiance, the historical importance, followed by my personal opinion of why it's important to me. The pledge was penned by Francis Bellamy, a Christian minister, as to mark the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus's arrival in America in the month of August 1892. At the time, Bellamy worked for a magazine called the Youth's Companion, which published the pledge on the 8th of September 1892 and encouraged schoolchildren to recite each morning. The pledge was first recited on the 12th of October 1892 by President Benjamin Harrison and over 12 million children, thereby beginning a school day ritual. Ever since that day, the pledge has been said by schoolchildren of most religious beliefs all across America. By reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, every American is making a promise to be true to the United States of America. At the same time, the pledge is said by us to remember all the brave men and women of all ages who risked their own lives for our freedom. That freedom should not be taken for granted. The pledge is not something every child or adult is needed and or expected to do. But it is expected that those who don't recite should be seated quietly while the pledge is being said, thereby allowing the others to recite the pledge. Unfortunately, some may not understand the meaning of the pledge and are just saying it blindly. Reciting the pledge is a mark of patriotism to our country. It's an action that symbolizes loyalty towards the United States of America. It's expressing the pride of being an American, to feel blessed to be living in our own country. The pledge is also a proclamation stating that all Americans are unified, standing as one, and working together. The Pledge of Allegiance is an oath that some may not want to partake in, which is fine. But in my opinion, I love having the feeling every morning that I'm doing very little to honor a lot. The pledge is very important to me and is a responsibility as an American citizen to say daily. I believe that the Pledge of Allegiance should be said forevermore because it honors our country and those who fought to provide liberty and justice for all. I hope that my speech has encouraged you to enthusiastically recite the pledge each and every day. And if not, I hope you feel the same one day. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Hubert H. Humphrey once said, "What we need are critical lovers of America, patriots who express their faith in their country by working to improve it." Welcome parents, teachers, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Aaron Lopez Dominguez. Do you know what the definition of a patriot is, or what the virtues and actions of a patriot are? Think about this first. Are you a real patriot? Are you part of the main ingredient of America? Listen to me now. This is what it means to be a true patriot. It is extraordinarily important to be patriotic. If you're wondering why, it is because patriotism can inspire others to be strong, not just for themselves, but as a nation, because we the people together can face anything. Alexandre Dumas, who wrote The Three Musketeers, once said, "All for one and one for all, united we stand, divided we fall." Patriotism equals the love for one's own country, which means I have patriotism and love for my country. One way I show patriotism is by supporting the men and women who fight for our country. Two veterans that taught me to respect all Americans who served in our military are John McCain and my science and social studies teacher, Mr. Kinney. John McCain was a Vietnam veteran. He was enrolled at the U.S. Naval Academy and was dispatched to Vietnam during the war. He was shot down and captured by the Viet Cong. He was tortured as a prisoner of war between 1967 and 1973. He never gave up and kept his fellow Americans from losing hope. John McCain once said, "Americans never quit. We never surrender. We never hide from history. We make history." Being patriotic does not mean having to do something big for one's country. Just standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance or singing the national anthem are examples. You can put an American flag on your house, donate to disabled veterans, or even thank a military person in uniform. John F. Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." All in all, it's for everyone to know what it means to be a true patriot. I'm guessing you're thinking, he is just a little boy. He does not know what it means to be a true patriot. It does not matter what age you are, as long as you're a part of we, the people. Yes, I'm a proud patriot, so I hope you're asking yourself if you are part of the main ingredient of America. God bless America.
Hello, I'm Olivia Ruth Frey. Today I'll be demonstrating how I can make America a better country. There are many ways to do so. The two I'll be focusing on today are recycling and texting while driving. First off, if people who live in America stop recycling, bad things will happen. For example, garbage will start to pile up, landfills will enlarge in number, and greenhouse gases will increase. Greenhouse gases are the main cause of America's warming. If greenhouse gases increase, America will get warmer and warmer, and we will see more extreme weather events. If you like America the way it is, recycle to help keep it that way. Next I'll be talking about today is how recycling benefits America. There are many ways recycling helps our country, such as reducing the use of landfills and conserving natural resources. One of the main reasons recycling is important is that it reduces the damage to our environment. Recycling reduces the use of landfills. By using waste to make other items, we can slowly shrink the size of our landfills. Another way recycling helps America is that recycling conserves natural resources. Old scrap cars, bottles, junk mail, and rubber tires are usually found in landfills. Recycling allows all these waste products to be used again and again to conserve new materials. Another way I can make America a better country is by stopping texting and driving. Sending text messages while driving distracts people from the main task, driving the car safely. 390,000 accidents per year are caused by texting while driving. All modern cell phones can send and receive text. That makes it an efficient method of communicating. Because texting is so easy, Americans text hundreds of billions of messages every month. Some of these are sent while driving. A study by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute claimed that drivers who texted behind the wheel were 23 times more likely to be involved in a serious accident. Texting while driving distracts the driver from the road. When a driver looks down at his or her phone, they take their eyes off the road and lose their concentration. I believe that if we all work together to do these two things, America could make a great progress. Always recycle to keep America clean, and don't text and drive for everyone's safety. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all for coming. Welcome judges and fellow contestants. Thank you for all the support by coming here, parents and guests. I would also like to thank all the teachers. A couple days ago, I saw a quote that really caught my eye. It said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." That was said by John F. Kennedy. That quote really stands out to me because I think he's right. I think he's right because you can help the country and yourself by volunteering at homeless centers, donating clothes to a store. Also, you could volunteer at Red Cross, and you can help by voting at age 18. We can all help America be a better place. The quote says a lot of different things to other people, but to me, it means to be helpful. The message to me is that the flag with the colors red, white, and blue doesn't just mean one group of people or one person. It means every individual that lives in America. When I think of America, I think of a strong and powerful country. I also think of teamwork. But now, when I go outside, I don't see much teamwork or kindness. But when I think of America, I want everyone to think that we are a great country, and we are strong, and we will help each other when they are in need. President Kennedy was a strong, smart man. He was a great president too. but his life ended too soon. But just because his life ended doesn't mean that his inspiration ended. Also, always remember, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Thank you.
Why am I proud to be an American? I am proud to be an American because of the freedom of speech, free public education, and freedom of religion. I say what I want, learn what I need, and believe what I choose. Hello judges, parents, and fellow contestants. My name is Natalia Manny, and this is why I am proud to be an American. In America, I've been given the right of freedom of speech. This varies from country to country. Take Cuba, for example. In Cuba, citizens have no internet access. Burma has a limitation of just 3 television channels. And Libya's government owns and controls all print and broadcasting media. Just think about that. No internet, only 3 television channels. And your government owns and controls all print and broadcasting media. In America, the internet is almost anywhere. Most homes, public places, and even airplanes. And we have access to thousands of television channels. The most thing for me is learning. School. Said by Felix, a street kid from Uganda. Jack Black is the creator of the Red Nose Day campaign, one of the most impacting campaigns for kids who have nothing, including access to an education. In Uganda and many other countries, there are thousands of kids, just like Felix, who work very hard every day just to survive the cold streets. But when Jack Black asked Felix if he had just one wish, and instead of shelter or even food, all Felix wanted was an education. And Jack Black, through the Red Nose Day campaign, did that for him, and now Felix is healthy, happy, and living his dream of being in school. I used to watch children go to school, and I admired them. And now I have school, Felix reports. In America, it is a law that all children must go to school and get an education for a better chance in life. The education that we, the children of America, are lucky to be receiving. This is helping us all become better citizens for our community and the world. Imagine us all believing in the same thing, as in one religion. Places like China is an atheist organization, which means that they don't get to choose what they worship or believe in, or even if they want to worship. In America, everybody believes in different things. But because of this freedom, nobody is prosecuted or put in jail for the simple reason that we are free. Freedom of speech, free public education, and freedom of religion is all what comes with living in this amazing country. We live in the land of the free because of the brave. My name is Natalia Manny, and this is why I am proud to be an American.
Welcome judges, fellow contestants, and guests. Before I start, I would like to thank everyone for coming out and supporting our 2019 Patriotic Speech contestants. We'll start with a question. Can an 11-year-old help change the world? In my opinion, yes. An ambitious 11-year-old is like a wildfire. You can't stop it no matter what you say or do. Our minds are imaginative. We will think of the most extraordinary things, and we will attempt to make those things possible. For us, the possibilities are endless. Take Malala Yousafzai. When she was 11, she started writing a blog for a local BBC station in Pakistan, voicing her desire for girls to continue studying. As a result, she has greatly impacted her country and many others. She now owns many schools and foundations in her home country. Another great example is Liam Hannon. Liam Hannon is a boy who just wants to make a difference in the world. Liam is the founder and operator of Liam's Lunches of Love, an organization dedicated to serving meals to the homeless. On every single bag, Liam writes a very inspirational message and has even had people send their own bags with their own inspirational messages. Liam is doing so well with his new organization that he can now buy a food truck with all of the donations he has gotten. 11. 11 is a great age. Our minds aren't thinking like children, but they're not thinking like adults either. So how are we thinking? Well, we're thinking outside of the box. We don't mind if we're wrong because we understand that each mistake that is made can be learned from. We have the hope of making a positive effect on our lives and others. We get the craziest ideas and act on them, whether we have good intentions or not. Now, I'm not saying that every 11-year-old is going to want to help change the world, but sometimes it's our fate to change the world, whether we like it or not. On that note, let's go back to our question. Can an 11-year-old help change the world? Now, don't let me decide for you, but think about the things I said. What do you think? Can an 11-year-old help change the world? Thank you.
We will not waver, we will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail. Peace and freedom will prevail. George W. Bush gave this quote October 7th, 2001. Hello, fellow Americans. My name is J.B. Stoll, and this quote is the subject of my speech. I think we need to dig deeper and take it upon ourselves as Americans to follow the ideas of President Bush. We cannot waver, tire, falter, and fail. Now, my major points for my speech are the American Revolutionary War, the countless first responders for 9/11, and the countless events in American history. To begin, during the American Revolutionary War, America never fought harder. America fought Great Britain for independence. War, as many of you know, is never easy. However, this war was especially hard because America was outnumbered 10-1. This, however, didn't change anything. America, led by George Washington, fought till the end, and during the Battle of Saratoga, the British surrendered. America finally won independence. I don't think there's been any other war in American history that shows what happens when we do not waver, tire, falter, and fail. To continue, I think this quote was meant to strike fear into the hearts of the 9/11 culprits. However, due to the courage of so many Americans, this event brought us together as one country under God. Timothy Mallard was a couple of miles from the third crash site. Timothy was given the job of pastor for the emergency responders and soldiers. Rob Syria was an NYC firefighter when he spotted the Twin Towers burning. He ran to help the first responders with the rubble. One man by the name of Rick Riscorio did an incredible job and saved 2,700 lives. The first responders brought it to the nation's attention that we need to step up. We cannot waver, tire, falter, and fail. Moving on, there are countless events in American history that shows what happens when we do not waver, tire, falter, and fail. During the Civil War, America fought with itself. The North was fighting to free slaves, while the South was fighting to keep slaves. It was a hard-fought war, and in the end, the North won. During World War II, we joined the alliances. The alliances fought till the end and won. World War II was a big war, and in the end, World War II was a big war, and we didn't join until Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. We joined the Allies. This war was a terrible war, and in the end, we did not waver, tire, falter, and fail. All these wars took an unearthly amount of confidence and courage. In the end, we did not waver, tire, falter, and fail. In conclusion, I don't think there's been any other quote in American history than this quote. This one quote meant more than it's ever supposed to mean. It means we cannot waver, tire, falter, and fail. I'm so proud to live in such a great country with such great leaders like President Bush. I would like to challenge all of you to get out in the world and do your jobs with pride. Make sure that you do not waver, tire, falter, and fail. Thank you.
Do you think it is important for citizens to participate in democracy? Some people think it is, and some people think it isn't. There are many reasons why it is important, but what is the best way? Welcome parents, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Allie Griffin, and I'm going to talk about what is the best way for citizens to participate in democracy. To begin, democracy is very important in our nation. Voting is an important way of making your voice heard. By voting, you are supporting the ideas important to you. Many young voters believe that their vote doesn't count. So if you don't vote, your voice will never be heard. Voting and democracy are important because they provide people with the opportunity to voice their opinion and vote for what they believe in. Another way would be to sign a petition. By signing a petition, you can make a change. Signing a petition is a way to be in the present and create the future. This allows you to participate in the process of change within a democracy. For example, you may have an issue with cars speeding down your neighborhood streets. This may concern you about the safety of your neighbors. This would be a good time to bring this issue to the attention of your local government by establishing a petition to get stop signs added to your streets. Signing and sharing a petition is democracy in action. My final example is to join a political party. If you join a political party, you can spread a message to help advocate on issues that you believe in. You can make phone calls and even help register people to vote. Doing this is a good way to participate in democracy. In a democracy, each individual has the opportunity to create and spread a message you want to be heard. Talking to friends and family can help spread the message, which helps the government in a democracy make the change. Joining a political party is a good way to participate in democracy and can make all this happen. In conclusion, it is very important for citizens to participate in democracy to make changes in our future. You can vote, sign a petition, join a political party, and there are many more examples. Participating in democracy allows you, your friends, and your family to discover and support issues that are important to our future. How will you choose to participate in democracy? Thank you.
What do you think about whenever you say the pledge? Hello everyone, my name is Caleb Santiago. I am a 6th grader and I go to school at Peoria Elementary. We may all agree about the importance of the pledge. The Pledge of Allegiance has been an important part of American history for a very long time, around 150 years, proving that it has a deep meaning, it was made by patriotic people, and the fact that we should continue to say it. First, we will be discussing the meaning of the flag. The flag's meaning is very important for determining the meaning of our pledge. On a website by the name of usflag.com, they tell us the meaning of our flag's colors: red, meaning hardiness and valor; white, meaning purity and innocence; and blue, meaning vigilance and justice. We can also compare these traits to real-world people and organizations. Hardiness and valor can describe the military and army, as they need to be strong to protect the United States. Purity and innocence can describe children and newborns, as they are young and should be taught about American history. Vigilance and justice can describe government and law, as they make new rules to ensure our safety, and they put harsh penalties on people that break them. The flag is a symbol that links with our pledge, and these are the individuals who made or added to America's pledge. Second, I would like to call to your attention the people who made or added to the pledge. These people being Francis Bellamy, George Thatcher Balch, and Albert Bowman. Francis Bellamy wrote the original pledge. However, George Thatcher Balch and Albert Bowman added some words or phrases to the pledge that we still say today, such as my flag, which is changed to the flag. By adding these important words and phrases, the pledge gained its important and deep meaning. The Pledge of Allegiance is very important, but should we continue to say it? Finally, we will be explaining why we should continue to say the pledge. It's very important, and people should not take offense to the wording or phrases. However, people who are Christians can be offended by having to say words such as under God. However, that was not the intent of our founding fathers. Every morning, at the beginning of the school day, starting in kindergarten until you graduate 12th grade, students are required to stand up, place their right hand on their heart, and make a pledge. This is a pledge to America, our beautiful country. After listening to my speech, whenever you say the pledge, what do you think about? Personally, whenever I say it, I think about everyone and everything that has helped shape the nation we live in today. The Pledge of Allegiance has been an important part of American history for a very long time, around 150 years, proving that it has a deep meaning, it was made by patriotic people, and the fact that we should continue to say it. So, what could you do about all of this? Could you convince people that they should continue to say the pledge? I would. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow judges, students, teachers, and parents. I am Amy Waters, and I am here to talk about Rosa Parks. When I am reading, I want you to think about Rosa Parks and what she did. Rosa Parks wrote this very inspirational quote: "You must never be fearful about what you are doing if what you are doing is right." This quote means that if you're doing the right thing, you shouldn't be fearful. But if you're doing the wrong thing, you should. Rosa Parks is a very inspirational person. She inspires people all over our country and even our world. She also inspires me. Rosa Parks was a very brave black female. One day, on the Montgomery bus, Rosa Parks stood up and made a difference. Back then, racism was a huge thing. You could get shot or killed for saying no to a white man or woman. She changed our country because she knew our country could change. She believed in us. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white male. She was very brave. Rosa Parks made a huge impact in our country. If it was not for Rosa Parks, our country would not be the same today. Black kids and white kids would not be working together to be the future leaders of tomorrow. It would be whatever white people want, white people would get. If it was not for Rosa Parks, our country would not be the same today. Of course, Rosa Parks couldn't do this all by herself. Here are some inspiring patriots that helped fight for human rights and civil rights. Abraham Lincoln, Harriet Tubman, and Martin Luther King Jr. All these people helped fight for human rights and civil rights. In my opinion, Rosa Parks is a magnificent person. In conclusion, Rosa Parks made a huge impact in our country. She saved and inspired a ton of people, and I thank Rosa Parks for that, and you should too. Her full name was Rosa Louise McCall Parks. So what do you think about Rosa Parks? Does she inspire you? Thank you, Rosa Parks, and thank you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you all for coming today. My name is Michaela Smith, and I'm going to share some important information about a young girl that wanted to make a change in our world. People say that we are too young to make changes or to have our voices heard, but I disagree. A young girl named Samantha Smith wrote a letter to the CPSU suggesting that both countries, United States and Russia, should coexist peacefully, which ended up getting published in the Soviet newspaper. This letter gave her the honor of America's youngest ambassador. The letter also brought peace to Japan. When she died at the age of 13 due to a plane accident, a monument was built in her honor in her main town and in Russia. I believe, even though that we are just kids, we can make a change. I was bullied in the 2nd grade and wrote a letter to the girl asking her why, and to let her know it didn't have to be like that. I mean, I get it. She didn't have to like me, but she didn't have to bully me either. Just like Samantha, I was asking for peace between the two of us. We live in a world that is so divided, and that is in need of a change. Just like Samantha, we can make a difference. It hurts when I hear about somebody getting bullied, and the bullying is never about you. With social media and cell phones, bullying has gotten easier and just out of control. And there's not a lot of resources at school. The Yale School of Medicine has found signs of apparent connection between being bullied and suicide. Every 7 minutes, a child is bullied. It is estimated that 160,000 children miss school every day due to bullying. So, you see, this is why I feel as small as our voices may seem. We can be the start to changes that are needed. It's just like dominoes. Each and every one of us can stand up to bullying and show some kindness. A small act goes a long way and would be a great start. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome students, teachers, family, and judges. Those are the words that we know as the Pledge of Allegiance, written by Francis Bellamy in August of 1892. It is now an important symbol of patriotism that we should continue to say for many reasons. The first reason is that we are pledging allegiance to our country, or as it says in the pledge, to the republic. This part of the poem means that we are showing our loyalty and commitment to our country by reciting the pledge. It is said that showing loyalty is very important to success and stability of a lasting relationship. but what it really means is more elusive. Being loyal, or showing loyalty, is defined as being faithful to one's oath. Meaning in the pledge, showing allegiance, or loyalty, means that we are making a solemn promise to our country by reciting the pledge. If we were to stop saying this, that's one major symbol of allegiance missing from many Americans' lives. The second reason that I think we, the citizens of the United States of America, should continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance is the word indivisible. We've all said this word many times as we recite the pledge, but what does it truly mean? Well, indivisible means incapable of being divided or inseparable. This is important to continue to say because it can remind children, teenagers, adults, and even our elders that we are one country, that we can remain indivisible, and that we can live as one together. The final reason that I think we should continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance lies at the very end of the famous poem, with liberty and justice for all. These words may seem like a line that is overused in speeches, essays, and quotes, but these words truly represent the idea that every citizen is equal under the law. It represents the concept that every American is free and not to be deprived of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Removing this from our everyday lives will not only deprive us of our country's patriotism, but will also deprive us of our knowledge of freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, these reasons show why our country, the United States of America, should continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance not only symbolizes loyalty, freedom, and equality, but those topics can help us understand the meaning of being a patriot and what it means to be patriotic. Thank you for your time.
Mark Twain said, "Patriotism is supporting your country all the time, and your government when it deserves it." When I heard this quote, I didn't quite understand it. Throughout my 11 years of life, I had gotten the idea that the country was supposed to support the government. After thinking it over, I realized how thought-provoking this quote is, and I hope you see why. I've always considered myself a patriotic person. However, this year I felt less patriotic. I learned that 53% of Americans feel similar or the same way. My patriotism was lower this year because I look at our country and I see another potential civil war. But instead of slavery, it's partisan politics. It's complete chaos. It's almost like the war strategy, divide and conquer. If you can divide the army, or in this case the country, it will be a whole lot easier to conquer. If people applied this quote to their day-to-day lives, I believe that more people would feel patriotic, we would be a stronger nation, and our country would be so much better. Let's break down the quote. Patriotism is supporting your country all the time. Support it like you would support your ideal family. Constantly. Constantly loving, committed, and loyal. And your government when it deserves it. This part means that support for the government comes when they put the country's needs before their own agenda. While patriotism is pride for our country now, it can also be pride in what we believe will happen in the future. This nation might not be exactly what we want it to be, but we have faith that in the future it will be better. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you cannot see." What I'm trying to say is have faith in our country. Support it with service. Support it with responsible voting. Support it with pride. Support it with unity. And things will get better. I hope you saw this as an opportunity to grow and to better yourself as a person and a citizen. So what do? Do you support your government blindly? Or do you support your country constantly? I know for me, I've decided to make a difference, to support my country constantly, and to be a patriot. Won't you join me?
Imagine you're hungry, weak, sick, you have no electricity or AC, and you rummage through garbage cans and dumpsters just to find your food, only to have it stolen from you when your guard is down. This is what happened to the people of Venezuela when they chose security over liberty. Hi, my name is Craig Barrett, and I'm here to discuss the very real possibility of the future of our country. Ben Franklin once said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." In normal people words, this means that if you would give up basic human rights or your job to someone like the government to protect you, you are sorely mistaken. Because when you do this, you allow the government to trample all over you and become tyrannical. The effect of this is catastrophic. If everybody believes it, then it can mean the doom of our country as we know it. Take Venezuela, for example. They elected Hugo Chavez, who took away various freedoms away from the people, saying that he would run their lives better, that everything would be great. Boy, were they wrong. His ideas led to unemployment and hyperinflation. Everything was becoming really expensive, while the value of their currency was destroyed. And remember that this happened because the people thought that the government could run their lives better than they could. You know, Venezuela used to be one of the richest countries in the world. And now it's one of the poorest, and everybody there is starving. Well, except for the government, of course. So how do we prevent this from happening? Well, it starts with the parents. They teach their children hard work and independence. And with these two important values, everybody here today can make a huge impact. Not only can we prevent our country from becoming something like Venezuela, we can push forward for the growth of our economy and for new inventions and for a stronger sense of pride towards our country. But if we don't, and we choose laziness, and we sit on our couches all day and we watch TV while we let someone like the government put a blanket over everything and say that it's going to be A-okay, we will lose ourselves, our country, and our way of life. And that's not the kind of world I want to live in. And I'm sure you don't want to either. Thank you.
A year or two ago, I had no idea democracy mattered. After further research, I now know that democracy is an immense part of our country. I want to take the position that voting, having a proper education, and starting a petition are just a few ways that citizens can participate in democracy because we, the citizens of the United States of America, decide the future of our country. To start off, voting is a great way citizens can participate in democracy. First of all, every vote matters. In Alaska, the congressional race was decided by a single vote out of a 10,035 cast in 2008. Imagine being that one person out of the 10,035 other people. Your vote just changed the entire election. In my family, right when we turn 18, we sign up to vote because the government is so important to us. As Hillary Clinton once said, "Voting is the most precious right of every citizen, and we have a moral obligation to ensure the integrity of our voting process." This quote states that voting is a great way citizens can participate. To add on, having a proper education is extremely important. By having an education, you have learned the purpose of a civic responsibility. Basically, you know what is right or wrong for our country. For example, if there is a president who has done horrible things in the past, you will not vote for him or her. You will vote for someone who you think is right and who can make our country better. Also, schooling is vital to the government. They want children in school to get the education we need. As Kumfumbia Damimbia once said, "Education gives us the knowledge of the world around us and changes it into something better." Kumfumbia ought to know because at a young age he immigrated to West Africa from the United States and saw the power of an American education. Another great way citizens can participate in democracy is by starting a petition. It is a great way to speak your mind. By speaking your mind, you can change the world. If you speak to the government about your concerns, he will accept it and find a way to fix your problem. Or maybe not. Now, some people say you shouldn't waste your time on a petition if it won't work. What I mean by this is Jessica Camiglia, an inspiring communication specialist, once said,
Because it turns out petitioning could be a complex affair, and even if you get the required number of online signatures, it may not even be worth the bytes the characters pick up. This quote states the obvious. If you don't have enough online signatures, your ask can be declined. However, the important part is that you live in America and you have the right to petition in the first place. All in all, democracy is paramount to having a voice. Voting, having a proper education, and starting a petition are just 3 easy and convenient ways to participate in our government. Always remember, our country matters, and we, the citizens of the United States, can change the country for the better. Let's get started.
Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. Author unknown. This states that our country would not be a country without the men and women constantly risking their own lives to ensure our safety. Welcome judges, parents, and guests. My name is Caden Hammond, and I am here today because I believe that in today's society, we often take for granted our own individual freedom that has been given to us. Our nation was built upon the foundation that all men are created equal, and that we may have the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Each and every day, all of us have the opportunity to wake up and go and chase our own individual dreams with hardly any limitations on what we can or cannot do. Let me ask all of you, how many of you dislike it when your parents, teachers, siblings, or friends are constantly telling you what to do? I know it definitely bothers me. And you know why? It's because I like to have the freedom to make my own decisions. But imagine this, having our government tell us what our jobs are, where we go to school, how many children we can have. I mean, come on, how could you possibly take all of these things for granted? But if it wasn't for our soldiers and armed forces, this is what our lives would be like. 1,196,554. That is the number of U.S. soldiers that have died fighting for our country in war alone. Ronald Reagan said it best. This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave. I feel we need to show more respect towards soldiers and armed forces. They willingly leave their families, put their lives in danger, and put aside other personal pursuits, all for a cause they believe is greater than themselves. Now I challenge all of you here today to show gratitude for our country, show respect towards our soldiers, and thank them for helping our country become what we all know and love today. Thank you.
Hello judges, guests, and fellow contestants. My name is Allie Black. If there is one phrase in the Declaration of Independence that defines America, it's that we are endowed by our creators with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But what did Thomas Jefferson mean when he wrote Pursuit of Happiness? The answer to this question is found in this quote from Thomas Jefferson himself and is the basis of my speech today. Our greatest happiness does not depend on the condition of life in which chance has placed us, but is always the result of a good conscience, good health, occupation, and freedom in all just pursuits. To me, this means that to be happy, it doesn't depend on how successful we are. Instead, it depends upon Americans having a good mindset, health, a job, and the freedom to do good. A good conscience and health are both the consequence of choices in several different ways. When we make informed decisions, that affects our well-being positively. Bad choices cloud our minds and decrease our ability to think clearly and be happy. True liberty is the use of our freedom in virtuous ways. By being decent and moral, true happiness can be the result. We live in a land of abundance, where we can choose healthy foods and exercise regularly. We must have a solid state of mind and body to perform at our highest level and be active in our community and country. We should not take our good health for granted and show gratitude for it by serving others and helping those less fortunate than us. In this country, we have the opportunity to go to school and study for a job we want. Then we can have an occupation which allows us to use our talents for the benefit of our families, our community, and our nation. Because we have the opportunity to go to school, we are able to learn and become good citizens and think for ourselves. An education contributes to our knowledge and happiness. Thomas Jefferson viewed basic education as instrumental to securing life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for Americans because it helps an individual understand his duties and know his rights. When Mr. Jefferson says freedom in all just pursuits, I believe he is saying our country gives us the freedom to do good. We can do seemingly small things to help others, such as volunteering at shelters or even taking out an elderly neighbor's trash. We have the freedom to serve in the government and help a great number of people. What he implies is that we should not use our freedom to have excess personal gain. Instead, we can be happy with a simpler lifestyle. Thomas Jefferson equated happiness with peace of mind and believed happiness is the aim of life. When we have a good conscience, health, occupation, and the freedom to help others, not only can we be truly happy, but our country will prosper. America benefits when its citizens understand and strive for true happiness. Thank you.